Welcome into the Oddity Shop, you eyeballs, where the bazaar is always on sale. I'm your curator, Kara, with your other curator, Zachary. And you're looking fine, beautiful. I like that shirt. It's very cute, very demure.
Very mindful, very cutesy. I can't stop saying that. And this is the podcast where we tell you creepy, odd, weird, strange, bizarro stories from around the world. You're looking very nicely, too. I like your new necklace.
Thanks. It's a coffin. Resin with roses.
Very deathly, very flowers.
Very death.
Very macabre.
What's new with you? I just went and saw, I know you didn't ask, but I don't care. I just went and saw Avril Lavigne and Simple Plan.
Oh, dude, how was it?
We actually, you and I didn't even get to talk about it.
No.
So fucking good. So good.
Wait, who is she with? Simple Plan.
Simple Plan.
For some reason, my brain went to Sum 41, and I'm like, there is no way on God's green earth they actually toured together.
No fucking way.
Yeah, okay.
That would be amazing. That they would never do that.
Is Pierre still just
hot
amazingly attractive? Yes.
Yep. Sounds the same, looks the same, just a little bit grayer, but beautiful. Beautiful.
I'm jealous of that one.
Yeah, I know you wanted to go, but you couldn't. It was really great.
Oh, sorry. No, you finished.
No, I was just saying it was really great. She is the cutest little thing ever. She hasn't aged a goddamn day in her life. I know it's because she's not really her. Fuck y'all of you guys. She is so fucking adorable and cute, and she just did such a great job. I've never been there when it was that packed.
Yeah, I could.
We'll talk about this off of this. This was crazy. Somebody that I worked with had lawn seats, and they were like, "We lost our spot so many times." Like,
oh god.
It was ridiculous. Oh, I saw Vince. Hey, Vince.
Oh, nice. We're going to see them in a couple weeks. Okay, so instead of going to a concert, I went kayaking. And let me tell you, I wanted to get one more kayak trip done before the season.
But now it's like 80.
And it was cold and there was a strong breeze. And I'm like, okay, I'm probably only going to go like halfway around the lake. Then when I got halfway around, the wind died, the sun came out, I got kind of warm. I had a long sleeve shirt on and a shirt underneath. I took the top layer off. I'm like, this is great. I then had that moment where I'm like, okay, I can either just turn around and go back now, or I could just fully go around the lake, which I've done 100 times.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm fully like at that point,
you're committed.
You're committed. It's going to be longer to go back the other way. Sun goes away. Wind picks up to like 20 miles an hour. I am now fighting 2 to 3 foot chop the entire time. I get stuck in this like little pond, or not pond area, but like bay area that like the wake is now crossing over each other. If I stopped paddling for like 3 seconds, I had no motion. I was turning around. Then my leg completely fell asleep. So I was like falling, trying to get out of it. It was not pretty, but it was a damn good workout at least.
It's a damn cold night, Avril. So,
and then literally the next day, gorgeous weather.
So that was, so we're weeks behind when you're listening to this, but it was 50 that day. It was cold as hell. I had a cute outfit. I had to wear a sweatshirt and like tights with my cute little outfit. It still looked cute, but it was just not the same.
Fair.
And you're freezing on your kayak. And then the next day, and now today, which is only a couple of days later, it is 84. It is 85. It is hot. It's like, what the hell? Anyway.
That's that time of year where Michigan's just going to continually tease us.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have anything else you want to talk about? Or do you want to just jump right in and keep our spooky season going? Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. We're not doing anything for Halloween this year, are we?
Yeah, we are.
What are we doing?
We're literally going to the Felt Manor on the 26th, Halloween. And on the 27th, we're going to Mid-Michigan Paracon. Oh, I guess those are two things. Hey, if you're going to be at the Felt Manor on October 26th or at Mid-Michigan Paracon on October 27th, you might see us in 2 or 3 days. Come say hello if you do. Okay, so here's a question. Are you ready? We're opening the shop with this. Now, I don't want you to answer this with your favorite. But based on how you perceive your personality type.
Oh, God.
If you were a cryptid, which would you be? You can't just pick your favorite. You have to pick the one that you think you would act the most like.
Okay, this is so hard for me because anytime if I ever have to take a quiz about myself, I don't know.
Right.
Because I think I'm insane.
Well,
I think that I am. I'm crazy. I think that I am 100 times more this than I really am or 100 times less than I really am. Like, I am not a good gauge on who I am at all. At all.
If it makes you feel any better, I didn't pick a right answer for you, so you still can't answer wrong.
But I couldn't even pick a favorite because I don't know. Okay. You should have given me like a day to think about this.
I'll help you out.
Thank you.
You just said you were crazy. You are older than me.
What does this have to do with the cryptid? Okay.
I'm going to go with old hag.
Is that a cryptid?
You know, like the sleep paralysis demon? You're like my own personal sleep paralysis demon.
I don't know if that's a cryptid though, but...
No.
Okay. Well, what do you think you are?
I think I might go with the night crawlers because 1, I'm not a morning person by any means. 2, my working out this year, other than the strength training I've started, has been a lot of walking and hiking around.
You don't like wearing pants.
I don't. Well, yeah, but they're kind of just pants. And I don't truly always like to be perceived either. So I'm going with the night crawlers. Because
I just love them so much though. And I think that I do identify as like a hellish hound. I want to be a hellhound. If that's considered a cryptid, I'll be a hellhound.
Yeah, we'll take it. Okay. So we've covered like an absolute shit ton of cryptids on here. And there's a huge list of ones that I want to cover, but there's just not like enough info to make an episode out of.
Okay.
So I'm calling this my top list of lesser cryptids. So we're a couple of the ones I've wanted to cover, but couldn't do a whole episode on. I got a list of them for you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Ask me one more time.
Listen, I picked this first one sort of for you because it had a little bit of Beetlejuice vibe to it.
Okay.
And I'm not going to ask you one more time if you're ready. I'm just going to fucking start. But the first one comes from deep within the Gobi Desert in great country of Mongolia.
Oh, okay.
Lives the Olgoi Korkoi, or the Mongolian Death Worm. Which is just a terrifying
I get the Beetlejuice, like sandworm. I get
sandworm.
it.
Yep. Okay. So it's a giant sandworm of lore and legend and has been given as a warning to those who travel through the desert since ancient times. The Mongolian Death Worm is said to be anywhere from 3 to 7 feet, sporting a blood red color, compared it to look like not very dissimilar from a human intestine, except for at one end there is like razor sharp teeth in a circular pattern with 4 to 6 tendrils coming out from its mouth.
You said 3 to 7 feet long?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a big boy worm. Okay. So one person described it as follows. It was a meter-long, bulging worm, red in color like an intestine filled with blood, and at the end a gaping mouth with inward pointing teeth. Pretty much exactly like... Have you seen Dune?
No, but I know what it looks like.
Yeah, if those sandworms were red and smaller, like that's pretty much what it looks like.
But, okay.
So it's been credited with deaths from everything like livestock to humans, and it lives under the sand, and it traverses silently through the ground until it finds its prey. And when it does, it bursts from the ground, and the first thing it does is discharge electricity to stun its prey. Okay, so once you're stunned by the Mongolian Death Worm, it starts to inflate, which is disgusting.
That is, but I like it.
Once it's fully engorged, a yellow corrosive acid sprays from its body to cover the prey with a poison so strong that it's said to be able to kill most things instantly.
Okay, here's the thing. Are you done?
No, but go on.
Okay, like if we're going with kind of like last week's episode, if we just like throw in the believability scale, I think this is totally believable because I don't think it's a cryptid. I think it's an actual creature. It doesn't sound that outlandish to me in a desert of things that we probably have not studied, all of these things that just burrow into the ground. So like to me, I don't think I go cryptid. I think I just go animal.
Perfect timing to interject that. Okay. So
good, I'm glad. I'm so smart.
Fuck you. I'm with you right now. I'll say that. I totally agree. And you are smart. So now there's one type of prey they really like, which is camels.
I love how you just said this. One swipe.
I had like a little bit of extra spit in my mouth. So one swipe.
You said it with a shoulder too. Swipe. One swipe.
You know, I'm selling it. All right. So they get especially rowdy around camels, though, because they like to infest their intestines, lay their eggs inside, where babies will later consume the camel and burst forth from it.
I think that can be like a parasite type thing.
I know. Okay. Except
I thought you said that to change my mind. Okay.
Well, because I'm still trying to get there. It reproduces, though. Somebody said laying eggs in camels. The next thing said it just would split in half whenever it wanted to. So the legend of this worm, though, it's been around for hundreds of years, but it made its way to the Western world in like the late 1900s when the Prime Minister of Mongolia was quoted saying, talking about things in the desert. He goes, "It's shaped like a sausage about 2 feet long, no head nor leg, and it's so poisonous that merely to touch it means instant death. It lives in the most desolate parts of the Gobi Desert." And he says this to an American writer who was studying in the area for non-cryptid related book, but he gets hooked and he just starts to he wants to find this killer worm instead. Okay. So over the next 100 years, many expeditions are led to find the worm. In 1944, a Russian paleontologist studying fossils in the area hears of the legend many times, but he notes in his entire research of it, he's never met one person who's actually seen it. In 1990, another expedition led by Ivan Mackerly, he heads out into the Gobi Desert. Inspired by the novel Dune, they tried to bring the worm to the surface with those rhythmic thumping devices like from the movies that you don't know about, other people do. Once again, nobody's ever seen it.
I mean, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
2005. Zoological researcher Richard Freeman sets out an expedition to hunt for the death worm. Again, can't find anybody who's ever seen it, and he finds nothing. He claims, though, that it's either a totally falsified story to warn you to stay out of the desert, or it has to be some type of unfound lizard, because he did a bunch of research into worms, and worms, as they were described, like looking like an intestine with that type of like exterior skin, couldn't live in the hot sand of the desert, nor do they have the ability with how dry it is to traverse under the sand like a worm would in wet dirt. Okay,
I like that knowledge.
Right? So it is something that is like total. I'm with you on it at the beginning. It's totally believable, but like there's just the legend of a death worm. Nobody's ever actually seen it. Now, have you ever seen the movie Tremors?
Yeah.
The graboids are 100% based on this legend.
I was going to say, when you were describing this, it made me think of Tremors. Okay, yep. I believe it.
Why?
Now, to me, though, why not? Because, no, I still think, though, just because it's not an animal or any type of species that we think could survive in this doesn't mean that it can't. And you know that a lot of the times I think cryptids, quote unquote, are just like species that we just haven't been able to observe, study, whatever, because they're a little bit more shy. So I believe it.
I kind of think this might be like, I wondered while researching it if it's some sort of weird looking plant that has like a so like a monstera plant or a rubber tree. If you get that on you, it feels very corrosive and acidic.
Okay.
Right. So who's to say there's not some sort of plant that looks like a worm sticking out of there that would have
that goes with camels?
Well, nobody's ever seen it do that. They just find like a dead animal and we're like, no, death worms were here. Nobody's ever seen them kill. They've just been credited with the deaths. Okay. I don't think this one really exists, though. So
I do, 100%. Honestly, that out of so many more cryptids that I believe, this is way more believable than pants.
I would say it is a little less out there than a lot of them. Okay. Number 2, one you've been waiting for.
Okay.
We're gonna jump in our little time machine. And we're going to go back to the first sighting of this creature in 1955. So late at night, we've got a traveling salesman. Why is it always a traveling salesman?
I know.
And he's driving along a country road near the city of Loveland, Ohio. Sometime late in the month of May.
Yep.
What happens next is one of those stories that has different iterations depending on where you look. One version does say that the salesman is driving and he sees 3 figures standing on what appeared to be their hind legs on the side of the road, just outside of a suburban neighborhood.
I'm so excited.
Each of them 3 to 4 feet tall, I know. As he gets closer, he notices a little bit of like leathery reptilian skin and faces that closely resemble frogs.
Ribbit.
The Loveland Frogman.
Like, oh, why do I want to hug them?
I just kind of love these because like their whole lore is so weird. Okay, so the other version says that the salesman spots one frog person near a bridge. And as he gets closer, it's kind of poorly lit, like there's a light on there. He notices like 2 had gone kind of down over the guardrail, and the third one, who is standing there, pulls out a wand and waves it over his head, and it fires a spray of sparks at the businessman as he passes by.
Do this as my magic clip. Wand.
Perfect. You are a frog man. Frog woman.
Thanks.
All right. So in both stories, though, as soon as he sees them, he sees these strange frog human creatures, he just takes off in fear. Okay. So the legend of the Frogman
Wait, I'm sorry. What would you do?
In 1955. I'm getting out of my car. First of all, I have the terrariums at home. I got the heat lamps. I got the spray bottle. You can come live with me, Mr. Frogman.
Well,
I got you. I got crickets.
Let's just be friends. Like, let's not put him in enclosure.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying I could take care of him. I have all the right supplies. Okay, I got the skills.
Frogs are so cute. Come on with me.
So anyways, though, the Frogman legend is born. He becomes a local kind of mascot, but they're not seen again for a long time. Until March 3rd, 1972, around 1 a.m.
Like 20 years later-ish?
Yeah, just about. So a police officer from Loveland named Ray Shockey is driving around, wasting time doing whatever it is cops do in the middle of the night. I don't know. And he's going down Riverside Drive near a boot factory, which is by the Miami River.
Okay.
When all of a sudden, a strange-looking critter scurries in front of his car.
A critter scurrying sounds small.
Well, for a brief moment, his headlights hit it, and he sees what appears to be a 50 to 75 pound, 3 to 4 foot tall, leathery skinned, crouched down like a frog humanoid.
Ribbit.
As his headlights hit it, it stands up on its hind legs, it climbs over a guardrail and slugs right down into the river. He goes and tells his cop buddies, and another officer reports seeing this non-identifiable animal crouched along the road, not far from where Shockey had seen it. And this is kind of weird. In one story, he says he sees it and agrees, but then he later changes his story and says, actually, I shot it, I recovered its body, I put it in the trunk, and it was just a large iguana that was missing its tail. You know, totally normal for March in Ohio for an iguana to be running around.
Right, but also, why would he shoot it?
I think he first he saw it, and I think he was like, okay, dude, like, yeah, I saw it too. And then people probably started giving him crap. So he's like, actually, no, I killed it. And it was an iguana.
No, for sure. He lied. But I'm just saying, why would you even say you shot it? Because then people will be like, well, where is it?
Right. Well, it was a tailless iguana. He probably just had a dead iguana around. I don't know. But obviously he didn't kill it because they've still been seen, with the most recent sighting being in 2016 when a gentleman named Sam Jacobs is out playing, and this is great, Pokemon Go.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
In mid-August.
Wait, and when was this? What did you
2016.
Say? Ew. We worked at a location together. This is like how me and Zach became friends. I'm not naming it, but we worked at this place together. And 2016 is literally when Pokemon Go came out. And outside of a location that we worked, there would be how many people? Like,
okay, it was terrible, but at the same time,
it was a gym. Wasn't it called a gym?
It was a gym, but we were also commissioned salespeople at the time, and we sold battery packs.
That is true.
We sold a lot of battery packs that first 2 weeks.
It was very annoying, watching these people just be outside at this gym, like 20 people or more, just like outside of it.
They would come in that back area because we had the AC there.
Mm-hmm. Annoying. Oh. Anyway.
Okay.
That just like made me mad.
Sam Jacobs, he's making his way to a Pokestop near a church in Loveland. He crosses some train tracks to the banks of Lake Isabella when he sees a real life Pokemon. Right from Sam Jacobs himself, he's quoted saying, "We saw a huge frog near the water, not in a game. This was an actual giant frog." He tells the local news channel WLWT. Then this thing stood up, walked on its hind legs. "I realize this sounds crazy, but I swear by my grandmother's grave, this is the truth."
What Pokemon looks like a frog? I'm looking it up.
What's that little tadpole one with his like boop, boop, boop? There's some other frog ones too. But anyways, so he tries to get some pictures with his phone, but it was really dark and you couldn't really see it well on the camera. But you can Google it and like look at his pictures. To me, they look a little bit fake, but I don't know.
It's probably Poliwhirl or Poliwrath.
That's the one I was trying to think of.
Those are the originals.
Okay. So those are the biggest sightings. There's been some other... Sorry. Bulbasaur's a turtle.
He kind of could be a frog.
He's a frog turtle.
He kind of looks like a dinosaur frog. I don't know. Okay, anyway.
Yeah. You know what? He is a frog. I'm going with that. Okay. So he's been seen though like plenty of times. It's been blamed on iguanas or monitor lizards, which to me is just weird for Ohio.
There are no iguanas in Ohio.
I prefer lizard men or giant warlock frogs with wands because to me that is just the coolest fucking critter ever.
How cute would you just be if you just like, you would be cute if you saw it. So how cute would you be?
It would be so cute.
So cute. You would be cute when you saw it. It would be so cute to just see like a little frog friends. Just like, I feel like in images you see them wearing like little witch hats or like little pointed hats with little wands. Yeah. And they're so cute and like plump and bulbous and just want to squeeze him.
He just looks like, like stay away.
Oh, no, I think they look happy.
People aren't staying away though, because like this put Loveland on the map. They now have the annual Frogman Festival every year in March. March 1st and 2nd in 2025.
Okay.
So we should. But like my question for you, right?
Okay.
What do you think about the wand? Because for me, like, I can believe the rest of it, but like...
It's a stick.
And that's what I think they probably have found stick in a way to make it like spark with maybe flint or something like that. I don't think they're actually like wizard shape-shifting frog people around, but I think they're probably intelligent. Maybe figured out how to use tools.
Maybe they just like... Okay. How many times as a child or even now as an adult do you just go on a walk and you find a stick and then you just like are holding onto the stick and like fucking around, flailing it around? Like you just do it. So what if...
Yeah, but it made spark.
Yeah, but maybe it didn't. And whoever saw this is like, come on now. Every story I tell you're like, that's just probably elaborated.
You don't trust our unnamed traveling salesman from 1955 with 3 different iterations of his story?
I trust that he saw our frog friends. I don't know if they had sparks out of their little sticks that they were carrying.
I'm going to choose to believe so, just because I think that's the cutest version.
No, it's so adorable. But also, like, if they're little animals, like in the woods, like, right, they're little frog people, and they're probably friends with like fairies and fae and stuff. So who's to say it wasn't like little fairies flying around them?
Ooh. So you're saying this could be the gateway cryptid to introduce us to other cryptids. I feel like this is going to be the one I'm befriending. Yeah,
that really would actually, now that I think about it, what cryptid you would be the frog, the Loveland frog.
I probably would. Just shooting sparks at people.
That's dumb that you ever said that you would be pants when you have reptiles. You have a whole room dedicated to reptiles.
True. Very true.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready for number 3? This one was a new one for me. Technically the death worm was, but like I knew the graboids and sandworms and all that kind of stuff. I've just never heard that lore. This completely new.
Okay.
At least for me.
Okay. I'm excited to see if I know.
Our next Lessor Cryptid became the official monster of Clinton County, Pennsylvania, July 12th, 2011.
Oh. Okay, not long ago.
He was discovered, though, in the archives of the Ross Library in an old issue of Keystone Folklore Quarterly. And it found an old article written by a gentleman named George Roan. George, in this article, recounts the legend that his grandmother told him when he was a kid in Keating Township. By the way, this article was from 1909 that was found, like, in the 2000s.
Wait. The article is...
So George wrote this in Keystone Folklore in 1909.
In 1909.
It was discovered in the archives of the Ross Library in like the 2000s.
11, you said, I think. Okay.
2011, it becomes the official monster.
Oh, Holy cannoli. Okay.
Articles found in 2006. Okay.
Okay.
So George in 1909 writes about when he was a kid, so late 1800s, when his grandmother was telling him this story. And she speaks of a sort of hybrid creature with the body of the wolf, the talons of a bird, hooves, so they can get up to 6 feet tall while standing on its hind legs, and it has a snarling face covered in dense fur and jet black eyes. It can either walk on all fours or upright, and given its strange body parts, it leaves tracks that greatly confuse those who are stumbling upon it. The critter's name is the Giwoggle. Giwoggle.
I've actually heard of this.
Have you?
Yes.
I had never heard of this one. I think it's just like this.
So weird.
This is what washed up in Montauk. This has to be the Montauk monster. Like, it's just way too... Now, okay, so Giwoggles are said to have been created or summoned by witches in Keating County. And so George Roan's grandmother was telling him the story of the creature and those who hunted them in the 1870s. And it's unknown where exactly she heard the story, but it's like she claimed that it was passed down generations. Okay. Every story involves local women who were believed to be witches. They would cast some spells to conjure up one of the Giwoggles when a nearby farmer offended them. They would send the Giwoggle to go and harass the farmer, which often did so in the form of annoying stunts and petty vandalism. So they're kind of like Puckwudgies, but they're not violent. So they have never been violent. They are just petty little fucks. I'm
100% that it's a Believing the Bizarre episode that they covered a whole thing about them. But yeah, they're just weird little, not even little, just, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Strange
hybrid creatures with like all sorts of different body parts who just go and annoy people. And then when you try to track them, you can't because their tracks make no sense. So farmers would wake up to find things like moved, trampled, damaged, or missing, with like 5 different animal tracks leading all around their property. Birds, hooves, all this shit. So in 1909, though, when Panic Over the Jersey Devil reached its peak. Panic at the Jersey Devil.
Panic at the Disco.
So these creatures were spotted at night a whole lot, and sometimes like they'd be lurking on rooftops on buildings at the edge of the town or farms. They'd just be looking down at them. The newspapers kind of speculated that because people were searching for the Jersey Devil, they were seeing these guys more, they were coming in search of more people to annoy.
So funny.
In 2006, the article is found in the archives by a gentleman named Lou Bernard, and he takes a huge interest in the Giwoggle. He compiles as many facts as he could. He also goes, I love this, he is so taken by these things, he goes to the county commissioners to have the monster slated as the county's official monster. So, I mean, we have to give him a shout out for that. And I think more counties need official monsters.
I was just going to say, do we have one in Michigan? No.
I don't think so. So he goes on, though. I have kind of a long quote from Bernard, and I think it sums them up pretty well. He goes, "At first, the Giwoggle was just something of a novelty to me, but eventually I began to see how this might be something used for tourism. So I attended a July meeting of the Clinton County Commissioners. I pitched the idea that the Giwoggle be declared the county's official monster. Surprisingly, they were all open to it, largely because there wasn't a whole lot of competition for the title."
How do you spell it?
Giwoggle.
Okay.
So then he goes, "A few years ago, I discovered some old articles. In the winter of that year, a Giwoggle apparently came down from the north end of the county. They weren't kept up there exclusively, evidently, but a man was on his way to work early in the morning and claimed to see one running around on a roof downtown. Apparently, there were plenty of witches living up on the Keating Mountain in the 1870s. If she got offended or angry, she'd just cast a spell. A Giwoggle would then be conjured and then attack the local person or family the witch was angry at. Their tactics ran more towards harassment than flat-out injury. They would just damage crops, frighten livestock, and spread sickness. So, if you had been discovered that you were selected as the target of a Giwoggle, there was always hope. And that hope came in the form of Loop Hill Ike, the gentleman whom legends described as a sort of paranormal problem solver. Mind you, this guy's in the 1870s. You could tell your problems to Ike and he'd fix them. The thing I love about Loop Hill Ike is that he was often, or very often, a mix of magical mysticism and hard-headed practicality. Most of the legends involve him casting a spell to find the witch, grabbing his shotgun, and burning her cabin to the ground. He sounded like almost like an early day Warren to me.
Yeah.
The quote ends with, "I was absolutely mind blown when my friend Justin Hauser of the Clinton County Genealogical Society informed me that Loop Hill Ike was actually a real guy. His real name, we found, was Isaac Gaines, and he was born in West Keating area in 1837. Both of his grandfathers were escaped slaves who settled in the Keating area, and Isaac lived his whole life in the northern part of the county. So he was a real guy. And if he's real, could the Giwoggles be too?"
Yes.
I love these things. I just like, they remind me too much of the Puckwudgies, where they're just like little shitheads.
I was trying to find that episode, but I don't know what it's called. But no, they're so funny.
Again, though, like, not one that we've really seen a lot.
Mm-mm. No, it's definitely not popular by any means.
But just on the basis of the fun story alone, I'm going to choose to believe that Giwoggles are real. And if I ever find out how to conjure one, there's like a whole list of people who are getting sent these little shits.
Like, so funny. So I love it.
All right. I have one more for you. Can you guess who it might be?
No, there's too many.
This is why I wrote this episode, because I've been trying to write on this little boy.
Okay.
For so long. I love him.
Did you say this little boy?
This little boy. Okay. This one's also in Pennsylvania. Deep within the hemlock forests of the Pocono Mountains lives a creature so fearsome, so terrifying looking, and so sad. We're talking about my favorite little sad boy who goes by the name of the Squonk.
I should have guessed this, because this whole time when you were talking, I was like, I hope we talk about a squonk because they're so cute.
Okay, this poor little guy melts my heart. He's my favorite little emo cryptid.
Squonks are so cute.
But they're not, and that's the sad thing.
No, I think they are. You don't think they're cute?
Well, we'll get into why he might not be so cute. But legends of this little beast date back to the 19th century, and one of the earliest written accounts we have can be found in a book titled Fearsome Creatures of the Lumber Woods with a Few Desert and Mountain Beasts, which I love is the title of the book. Fearsome Creatures of the Lumber Woods, with a few desert and mountain beasts. But we're writing about things in Pennsylvania, but we have some desert beasts. I don't know. Okay. So this book comes out, though, in 1910 by William Cox. And here's what Cox had to say about our fearsome, terrifying, emo little critter. The Squonk is of a very retiring disposition, generally traveling about at twilight and dusk. Because of its misfitting skin, which is covered with warts and moles, it is always unhappy. Hunters, who are good at tracking them, are able to follow a Squonk by its tear-stained trail, for the animal weeps constantly. When cornered, an escape seems impossible, or when surprised and frightened, it may even dissolve itself into its own tears.
Listen, you guys, it reminds me of like a pig, which is my favorite animal, mixed with Eeyore, which I love Eeyore, and I think they're so fucking cute. Squonks are cute.
They melt my little heart.
Squonks.
He kind of resembles like a pig. He kind of has like maybe a little frog butt.
Yeah.
Like short, stocky body, and its skin just hangs like loose and in flaps.
They're so cute.
Sometimes it's pictured with stained yellow tusks, and it's always covered in warts, moles, and skin
and
tags.
Tears.
And tears and webbed feet.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're so cute.
I do love these little guys. Now,
I know. You just want to hug them.
You do, because they're so devastated by their own ugly appearance that it just moseys about while crying because it's so ugly.
That's so sad.
It also is nocturnal and only moves at twilight and dusk so that no other creatures will see how horribly ugly it is. And
that's so sad.
It moves especially slow on nights of a full moon because it doesn't want to catch a glimpse of its own reflection in puddles of water. Puddles which are probably filled by its own damn tears. Okay.
This is depressing. They are little emos.
They're little emo sad boys, and I love them.
They could be girls.
And girls, I'm sure. Except I think we do get into how these guys reproduce in a minute, and they might be genderless.
Oh.
So many hunters throughout the years claim that they have successfully tracked and captured them.
No.
But nobody's been able to produce its body, mostly because of its amazing defense mechanisms.
Good. Leave them be.
They're easy to track because they have webbed, feet that leaves a trail. Mm-hmm. And they also, much like a snail, leave a slimy trail of tears. But once cornered, it will just dissolve into its own tears, and while it escapes, it also dies.
This is all the Squonks. Come to my house. You're welcome. I think you're adorable. I'll take care of you. You're beautiful.
Where we get into the genderless part. Some write and suggest that the beast reproduces through binary fission, or it simply splits itself into two.
Oh.
Others say that it came from the deserts to the plains, and they were trying to hide in the trees until lumbermen started to track them down, when all they want to do is try their very best not to be perceived.
Squonks, please come live here.
I know, I want one so bad. There is one hunter, JP Wentling. He captured one alive.
Janky?
JP?
I thought you said Janky Wentling.
Wentling. J.
Yeah, what a name. Janky Wetling.
Yeah. So Janky Wetlings, he finds out that you can track them by more than just following their trail of tears, but on a quiet enough night, you can hear them wailing in the distance.
Oh my god.
So he starts to mimic the cries of the weeping Squonk. And as he did, the real Squonk he was tracking started to approach him. So he grabs a bag, he throws the Squonk in the bag, and he starts to head towards home.
No.
But the Squonk does the thing that the Squonk does second best, which moping is the first thing he does best. Because JP notices as he travels, his bag gets lighter and lighter, and upon peering inside, all that was left was a pool of watery tears and bubbles. Okay. While I think this is probably one of the more far-fetched ones, and I really hope they exist for the mere fact that I want to take care of one, the funniest thing about these is they've actually been given a species classification, like a taxonomy name, like real animals do.
What is it?
I'm going to mess it up so bad. Lacrymacorpus dissolvens, which is made up of the Latin words tear, body, and dissolve. And that is the sad, sad legend of the emo boy of the Pennsylvania forest, the Squonk.
Emo kid. They're just kids. Emo kid.
Okay, what are your thoughts on this one? Because I feel like we can talk about him for a minute.
I love Squonks. I think they're so fucking cute. Everybody look at a Squonk. They're adorable.
I just want to be one's friend. They're like very much the Eeyore cryptid.
Yeah, all the Squonks come live with me. I will take care of you. And I think you're adorable. And we're going to work through it together.
I tried desperately to find a Squonk encounter for you on Reddit. But it was just like a lot of descriptions.
Yeah.
But my favorite comment that I found for you. So this was on a page that had a description, and the top comment said, "I'm ugly and cry too, bitch. You ain't special." And I die. Like, you ain't a cryptid. That's just something we all do.
Hashtag emo kid. I really enjoyed when Simple Plan went on and I recorded it for you. They were talking about, I don't even remember what it is now, but basically like, like when you were listening to us, when you were a kid back in 2000 and whatever it fucking was, 2006 or whatever. And your parents were like, "Oh my God, I can't wait for this phase to be over." And they're like, "Surprise, it's not a phase." It was never a phase. Okay.
Yeah, that's the Squonk lives in a state of it's not a phase.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The Squonk is just all of our emotions, internal emotions of us elder emos. And I want a Squonk. I think that they're real. And also they're probably harder to find and see and justify because they just dissolve into their own tears.
Are you saying he's basically the manifestation of our own
Yeah.
Self-criticism.
Honestly?
Dude.
We're going to get deep, yeah.
The Squonk is pretty famous,
Everybody
though.
Tell your therapist that you identify as a Squonk now.
Yes, and let them figure out what that might actually mean. Give them no other descriptions. Dude, so he's been in like a bunch of songs for some reason. Like famous songs by the band Genesis. Steely Dan had a line that said, "Have you seen a Squonk's tears? Well, look at mine."
Oh, I love this though.
I know. So he's got a lot of pop culture references. And I'm going to say this might take the spot of the Loveland Festival because every year in August in Pennsylvania is Squonkapalooza.
Oh, I'm going to Squonkapalooza. When is it?
Our sad boy is celebrated every August, and the festival's only mission is turning frowns upside down.
Upside down.
And the thought that spreading the love for the Squonk might just cheer him up. Squonkapalooza in August. Let's go. We just missed it. That is
Squonkapalooza.
Oh, you can go, you can be sad, but everyone's going to make you happy by the time you leave. That's how we're going to catch our Squonk.
Sounds like hashtag BetterHelp sponsor us, but that sounds like BetterHelp should like have a booth there.
Seriously,
this sounds awesome.
I'm down for the Squonkapalooza. So I know that one. I know it's creepy spooky month, but you know what? We had to make it a little bit fun. We had the Death Worm. That's creepy, but Giwoggles who are just going to come and like fuck your day up. Squonks who are going to cry themselves into a puddle, and frogmen who might just shoot a spark or two at you.
Well, I do think that we should go. What is it? Loveland Frogman Fest. What is it?
Yeah, the Loveland Frogman Festival is in March.
We should do that.
Squonkapalooza is in August.
Squonkapalooza has to happen.
You know what? We need your guys' help in making the decision of which to go to. If you've ever been to Squonkapalooza or the Loveland Frogman Festival, let us know and tell us why we should go. Yeah,
and I think if you made it here, the emojis that you should leave are a frog and a pig. Because I feel like a Squonk's kind of like a pig. So frog pig or pig frog, whatever.
There we go.
But yeah, if you've been to either one of those events, let us know if we should attend. One, both, none. Something.
Let us know if we'll see you there. Once again, the phone lines are open. Write-ins are open. We've got some bonus episodes coming. We've been begging long enough that we're getting those write-ins slowly but surely. So we'll have some bonus episodes for you soon. Little spoiler.
And remember, we're going to be at Felt Manor on the 26th Mid-Michigan Paracon.
Mid-Michigan Paracon the 27th.
Which is only a few days from now. But if you're going to be there, let us know so that we can see you.
Come say hey.
Michigan Paracon, there is a lot of people that let us know after the fact that they saw us and they like didn't know that like we were who we were.
We don't bite.
Hey, we're who we are. I might look like a hellhound, but I'm not. And
I might shoot sparks at you, but you know, it's all in good fun. At least we won't be dissolving into our own tears, maybe. Oh, or maybe we will. But we wouldn't do it in front of you. We'll do it later. With all that being said, let's close this shop up. What do we need to do? That's it. We need to go to bed. Good night. I love you all, beautiful little critters and creatures and cryptids and witches and warlocks and whatever you identify as. I love you so much and I appreciate you. And the most important thing that you can ever do is creep it real, you oddballs. Goodbye. Bye.